John Calipari might have said it best when he says, if you're a team getting ready to take on Tennessee, you better be ready to fight. And Rick Barnes tells me, well, that's a credit to the DNA of this team. So now Tennessee is 14-0 on the season and a perfect 1-0 inside SEC play. My 3 takeaways following that dominant showing against Arkansas. I'm Paige Dower. This is the Field Pass on Full Disclosure. My first takeaway following the win over Arkansas, Chaz Lanier and the Vols' perimeter presence. The threes came early in this game, but none were louder than the catch-and-shoot corner 3 by Chaz Lanier with 11:10 to go in the first half to make it 19-12. What started that sequence was a Jordan Gating steal who dished it to Sakai Ziegler and assisted it to Chaz Lanier to cap off a 10-0 run. And Lanier, he was responsible for 7 of those points. Later in the half, Sakai Ziegler got in on the action. Igor Milicic was in on the action, but a couple of Sakai Ziegler's 3-pointers were thanks to an offensive rebound by Igor Milicic, and we'll get to more on that in a second. But the game finished with Chaz Lanier going 5 of 9 from the 3-point line to finish with a game high and a season high 29 points. That's the 6th time this season he's had 5 3-pointers. A lot of numbers to keep track of, but even still, the team believes that Chaz Lanier is being too patient. He's too unselfish in his shot selection, trying too much to get it to his teammates. And Sakai says he is constantly trying to encourage Lanier to shoot the ball more.
If he shoot 30 shots in a game, we don't care. Like, we want him to do it, and we know he's a really good shooter. And if somebody got 2 feet inside the 3, we know as a whole that it's going up. So, as quick a release he got, and as good as a shooter he is, we want him to shoot the ball every time he's a little bit open.
Now to my second takeaway. Tennessee dominated on the board, so not better than Igor Milicic, who had a game-high 18 total rebounds. It also marks the most by a Tennessee player since March of 2014. So the Vols absolutely brought the physicality when it came to the battle of the rebounds. Igor Milicic had his first defensive rebound within the first 4 minutes of the game, but he did so on the offensive end as well. And the team's ability to go up and grab the offensive rebound led to 16 second chance points for Tennessee. Though maybe his greatest offensive rebound came late in the game when Sakai Ziegler tried to get a reverse layup. Somehow through all of the traffic and bodies, Igor was able to get the offensive rebound. He dished it to Lanier from the wing and he sank the triple try. That highlighting just how much effort he plays with. He also had a great night in scoring. After 4 games with just single-digit scoring, he ended with 13, and he also had 2 threes to go along with it. But he'll tell you that it's the rebounds that stands out most to him.
Game that I had today, 18 rebounds is the more important thing than 13 points. So, I'll have to be aggressive on the boards every game and get better defensively and, help my team win, which I think I did today.
Now to my third and final takeaway. What might separate this team from the field this season, it comes down to something intangible, and it's their effort. John Calipari put out the warning and distress signal earlier today when he told teams, if you're going to take on Tennessee, be prepared to fight. Rick Barnes tells me it comes down to the DNA of this team, led by Sakai Ziegler, Jermaine Mashack, and even newcomers like Felix Akpara, Igor Milicic. He says if he could just bottle up the DNA of this team, boy, would he do it. He also started to think a little bit more about Sakai Ziegler and maybe what this team will look like when he's not here, because it's players and veterans like Sakai Ziegler that absolutely changes the dynamic of this team. And it's also something Calipari mentioned to a nod to the team as well, and what makes them different, and it's that they're older, so they have more experience. They've been around it a long time. Being in SEC play now, something Igor Milicic has really been looking forward to all season long, but it's guys like Sakai Ziegler that continue to lead the way for this team, and in his senior campaign, what they bring might be the difference maker this season.
Sometimes I think about Sakai. I don't know why. I actually woke up the other morning and thought about Z being a senior. I'm like, man, it's going to be a different deal without that guy. And everybody looks at his stat sheet. The thing that doesn't show up on that stat sheet is what he does 94 feet defensively for 30. If it had to be 40, he'd go 40. But it all goes to the players, and good families, and they come in knowing what we expect, and but they expect it from themselves too. It just needs to be re-emphasized daily to them.
So Tennessee starts SEC play in 2025, 1-0 on the season. Of course, I'm up here in the concourse because the Lady Vols are down on the Summit floor getting ready to take on Oklahoma tomorrow in their SEC home opener. And we'll have so much more coming up on the Lady Vols on Sunday, so certainly make sure you are subscribed, tuned in, so you don't miss out on those post-game reports as well. And if you ever miss out on anything, we have it on the podcast and on our website, fulldisclosurepro.com. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow evening.